Request application number 2016-0013. It's an application for a request for the approval of the construction of a 199-foot self-supporting communication tower on 455 Hahn Road. It's in the R1 zoning district. Town Castle is the applicant. So, there, go ahead.
Good evening. I'm Robert Ratcher. I'm the attorney for Crown Castle. We're in possession of the engineer's comments. We also have submitted some documents and a narrative outlining how we think we meet the ordinance. We also want to put some testimony on the record to support some of what we wrote into the narrative. So if nobody has any questions to start off with, we'll get right into that testimony.
Lloyd, you do that first.
Okay. We have our engineer who prepared the site plan come up and just give you an idea of what the site looks like, the site attributes, and then we'll go from there.
Excuse me, you're going to have to hold that microphone. Can you just take it out of the holder and hold it so that everybody can hear? It works a lot better that way.
My name is Lisa Ryder. I'm with Dewberry Engineers. We were requested to perhaps relocate, in a sense, the existing tower that is further along towards the bottom of the property. If you see on that plan, you'll see an existing tower. It is a 250-foot self-support tower.
Excuse me one second. Bruce, can you give her a pointer? So that everybody can see where you're talking about on the existing tower that's proposed to be relocated.
Right there where the laser is pointing, that's the existing tower. It's 250 foot tall. And what we are looking to do is remove that tower and build a new tower, which will actually be 50 feet shorter at a lower elevation. The access is still coming down from the same direction. However, before it crosses the property line, it will come along here and back up here. We are providing stormwater management. There we go. Stormwater management will be provided on either side of the compound within the lease area. And we will also be providing landscaping as well, so that it will be even less noticeable for people that happen to be walking through the woods. The entire property is mostly wooded, and for the amount of woods that we are removing, it's really minuscule considering the entire property around it is wooded, so it will not be as noticeable. Does anyone have any questions regarding the design of the site?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. Can you point out on the plan where the proposed site is?
Right there is the proposed site.
And how far is that from, I guess, all of the boundaries? Each of the boundaries?
We are at closest 200 foot from the property lines. There's a marker right there,
And what are those distances?
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you.
What are those distances?
200 foot minimum.
So on two sides, you're 200 feet from the property line?
We're actually, it's three sides. There's also one located here.
And what is that distance from the property line?
That one, not sure if it was, this one I believe is 200 foot exact, and I believe this is also 200 foot exact. This one I believe is longer. We showed basically the minimum distance that was required for them. However, as you can tell up here, the overall property line, we are much further away facing the road.
What type of an access road are you going to have?
It will be gravel,
Gravel?
yes.
On a steep grade?
Yes, however, it's not considered a steep slope. We are actually preparing the side slopes on either side of the drive area will be steeper than the longitudinal slope on the drive aisle. I don't believe it exceeds 5%, I believe is how I graded it.
We've had problems in the past with these gravel roads washing out on the roads. Are you going to tar and chip it or do anything to hold it in place? gravel usually doesn't tend to stay in place on a graded roadway.
Okay. It is generally, we will dig down, put the membrane in so that nothing will come up through it. And then basically it's crusher run so that it generally stays in place.
No, it won't stay in place, it will for a short time. I visited sites throughout the township of these gravel roads. They end up being washed out down the bottom on the existing tie-in road. I thought, Dan, we may have proposed at least tar and chip a minimum.
Yeah,
Help hold the stuff in place.
the land development ordinance says that the proposed access road must be at least a all-weather dust-proof material. So in my mind, gravel is not acceptable. It must be a minimum of both tar and chip.
Yeah, that's-
So
Okay, this is the first, I haven't actually seen the engineering comments yet, so, we can obviously revise the plans.
sure. Thank you.
Dan, based on the topography, is there a chance of washout on one of our roads like there happened to be off the Grillo Tower? I think that's where you were talking about, Fred, that it washed off the gravel road, that the gravel was directly touched on high side on our road, and a lot of gravel was washed across our road. Is the topography anywhere of an issue here?
I agree with Frank, unless it's something approaching like a 1 to 2% grade, the gravel's going to get off on our road. So it's going to be a 5% grade, there's going to be washout onto the road. I've seen people pave the first 50 feet as an apron, and then have the gravel behind that, and there's other ways that you can approach it. But the ordinance specifically says dust-free. So I don't know what dust-free is. Any gravel that I know has dust in it. So the intent is when people use the road that they don't cause a big dust ball and float onto somebody else's property. That's simply stated. So tar and chip would be a reasonable, very inexpensive way to deal with it.
You won't have to worry about it crossing into your road, we're actually tying into an existing driveway. I believe, I want to say that maybe, although I could be wrong, is that a private drive? Or is that a public road? Because I'm pretty sure it's a private drive.
That's private. You're coming on an existing, what the original cell tower used?
Right.
What kind of surface is that road?
That is gravel.
All the way to its terminus or beginning?
It's asphalt. It's asphalt.
Is it?
And that portion of the road, I believe, from where we touch the public way until that bend, so if you go straight down the road to the first bend, which kind of goes to the left as you're looking at it on the screen, will be resurfaced with new asphalt once the tower's constructed. So from that bend to the tower, I believe right now is proposed to be gravel, but certainly if tar and chip is preferred there, that's something that we can certainly do.
But the current road is all asphalt because Bell was required to have asphalt when they went for their.
Can you stand up and say your name and speak a little louder?
Sure. My name is Colin Otis. I live at 804 Hickory Grade.
We're going to need you to come up. People have to hear what you're saying. It's hard to hear when you're facing this way.
My name is Colin Otis. I live at 804 Hickory Grade in South Fayette, about half a mile outside the township. I grew up in the township, and I'm purchasing in 10 days the Otis property within the township.
Where is
Would
the?
you point to it? Give him the pointer, Bruce.
This is my property. So a number of things. First of all, they're right about the asphalt road, and Bell, when they made the easement agreement with all of the homeowners, they said that they would pave the road, and that was part of the agreement because the township required it, because it has to be a dust-free covering. So I would support asphalt, not tar and chip. That would be my recommendation, given that it's already asphalt all the way up to just there's a gate and then there's asphalt beyond that. But the real reason I came is, so I object to this hearing even taking place. The narrative was not, which is in the checklist of the items that are supposed to be disclosed to property owners within 300 feet or a quarter mile, there's two places in the ordinance. That was never disclosed, and I have email confirmation. I have 5 sets of documents. Can I approach and give them to the supervisors? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to reference is actually in the back of the packet I gave you, there's a set of...
Wait, would you actually pick up the microphone and hold it, please?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing I'm going to refer to is in the back of that email packet, there's 2 sets of email correspondence. The first one is between me and Bruce Bosley, whereby I gave him written notice that 2 ordinances are being violated by this hearing taking place. This hearing can only take place 30 days after a proper application has been filed. And to my knowledge, as of about 3 o'clock this afternoon, a proper application has not been filed. So the earliest date this hearing could take place is 30 days from now, if that narrative application is submitted at this time. So that's the first one. So I object to this even taking place. The second one is that there's at least 9 counts of the ordinance being violated right now by this proposal. The biggest one, the most important, and we can walk through those documents as well. The most important is right here. So there's a proposed subdivision, which is on record of the Vogel family. And this subdivision is split into 3 different lots. And you'll find on the first document that I sent to you, the first and the second. Sorry?
Hold the mic up.
Sure. The first and second document that I showed you, they show the Ruslan plan 2 and 3, which are the relevant plans here. The ordinance states that you need to be at least 1,000 feet from a recorded subdivision. And this clearly violates that. This property is only 817 feet long in total. So in order to be, you'd have to go all the way onto Sabatino's property in order for this to be legal. But this is an application on Nichols' property. That's the most relevant. The second one is that the ordinance states that you can't disrupt the local setting. This is my house right here. Out of the kitchen window, I will see a 200-foot tower outside of my window, which would clearly disrupt the wooded setting that I'm buying into right now. It's the reason I wanted to move back to Cecil, and it's the reason I'm moving back now. It's the reason I'm spending a lot of money to buy this property, and it completely disrupts that setting. There's 8 other counts, and most of these I would expect to be in a narrative. I've included the ordinances for your easy referral, but you can look at the pieces that had to do with the communication tower. So if you look at section 1212, section B. So first of all, I have email correspondence, which is also at the end of that packet from Ron Sabatino, saying that he hasn't been contacted by Crown Castle in multiple years about a business negotiation for the current tower, which is operating properly. Should I stop for questions?
No, go ahead.
No.
Okay. So that's the first one. Section B clearly states, new communications tower shall demonstrate that efforts have been made to obtain permission to mount an antenna or antennae on an existing building, public utility transmission structure, or communications tower, rather than erect a separate tower. There's an existing tower that has all of the necessary pieces. It's it minimizes the disruption to the community, and an effort has not been made to upgrade that tower. The reasons for the new tower have not been submitted in a narrative, so I really have no idea why a new tower is being erected.
Then